have both Dr. Martin Engel and Jeremy Dobrowski from Inventia Life Science. They're going to present both of them. So it's on you guys.
Good morning, Camila, and thank you for the invitation. I was sharing our screen now.
Yes, you can start. You can go ahead. Thank you.
So good morning, everyone. My name is Jeremy Dobrowski, and Martin Engel, Dr. Martin Engel is over here. And we just wanted to give a short presentation on Inventia Life Sciences Rastrum 3D cell culture platform. And this presentation is broken up into two main segments, one which is an overview of the technology, and then Martin will take you through a case study which details how a user can interact with our platform. So first, I'd just like to set the scene at a higher level to explain the driving force behind building a 3D bioprinting platform that's been specifically designed for cell biologists. We believe that 3D cell culture sits somewhere in the middle, as you can see in this graph, between 2D cell cultures, which are easy to do, but not very representative of the human tissue, and animal models, which are very biologically relevant. However, they are expensive and require long ethics approval. And in that case, 3D cell culture fits in between, where it can be done in a relatively simple and high throughput manner using our platform, and also be reflective of human tissue. So just to give you an overview of the Rastrum platform, it's really been designed with simplicity and practicality in mind. It features an integrated laminar flow system. So rather than putting Rastrum into a biosafety cabinet, you can actually put Rastrum on the bench because the biosafety cabinet has been put into Rastrum. It's got an automated cleaning and sterilization workflow, which can be initiated by the user in a really simple fashion using the clear user interface, which we've designed in-house. And the Rastrum cartridge, which you can see on the left-hand side, features tapered wells, which are perfect for precious samples. And also you can use the integrated waste reservoirs so that you don't have to actually interact with the printer and take out the cartridge during the printing process. All the waste is deposited in the cartridge, and you simply just take it out and throw it away after the printing process is finished. So most 3D bioprinters are based on extrusion bioprinting, which is akin to squeezing toothpaste out of a tube and making contact with the surface, whereas Rastrum is specifically designed using drop-on-demand bioprinting, which is really analogous to your home inkjet printing technology. So the digital bioprinting, or the drop-on-demand technology, was chosen by us because it enables for a much higher throughput, but also is very gentle on the cells. And the drop-on-demand allows for very precise control down to a resolution of 15 nanoliters. And typically our system deposits 300 droplets per second in its flyby mode, where the print head zips across the 96 well or 384 well plate and deposits droplets of the matrix with your cells in the wells. There's 8 independently addressable nozzles fitted to Rastrum printhead to enable the generation of simple but also more complex 3D cell models, which normally wouldn't be possible using manual methods or other methods. And this allows for multiple matrix and cell types to be deposited at the same time simultaneously. So just to give you a brief overview of our hydrogels, which are compatible with Rastrum. They gelate instantly at room temperature, and this is based on proprietary chemistry that we have developed, where the first droplet containing the synthetic hydrogel is deposited on the plate surface, and then the second droplet, which lands directly on top of it with the activator and cells, and your cells, instigates the instant gelation process, which is sub-second, and leaves your cells encapsulated in that 3D environment. So we're able to control both mechanical and biofunctional properties of the matrix, and the stiffness can be tuned by modulating the peg arm length or the amount of crosslinker that's present in the activated solution. And the biofunctionality can also be varied diversely through the addition of cell adhesion peptides, like RGD, YGSR, and ICVAV, MMP cleavable sites, which allow for cells to grow and remodel the matrix over time, which can be important in invasion and migration assays, as well as full-length proteins such as laminin and laminin isoforms. So I've spoken about the technology very briefly and the reason for choosing drop-on-demand and also our matrix library, which is based on our proprietary chemistry. But I'd just like to talk to you about the plug-and-play experience and how all this technology comes together in the form of a print run, which is what you as a user would be executing on the Rastrum platform. So the print run comes together with 3 core elements. One, which is a pre-validated and predefined model, which our in-house application science team based in Sydney have developed with a range of models for studying various biological processes. There's also the pre-validated matrices, which we have validated to be compatible with a range of different cell types. So we have a diverse library of matrices, which you can use with a range of different cells and for your different needs, varying the biofunctionality and the mechanical properties. And finally, the final element comes to you, which is your cells that you add to start this print run. So once you execute a Rastrum print run, you're left with a well plate with your chosen 3D cell models covering the well plate, and it's ready for media addition, and then putting it in the incubator and for further downstream analysis, either in situ or using our Rastrum cell recovery solution, where you can dissolve the matrix and collect your spheroids or your cells out of that matrix. So now I'd just like to pass on to Martin, which will give you a brief overview of the different tissue types we've got some experience working with, and also run you through a case study, which will really illustrate how some of our customers have been able to use Rastrum.
Thank you, Jeremy. So after the introduction of our high-throughput 3D bioprinting platform, Rastrum, I wanted to show you an example of using it, how it can be applied in the setting of a cell biologist to explore and understand challenges in the biomedical field. Now, Jeremy already explained a little bit about our diverse opportunities for changing and modifying the matrix, and I just want to highlight what it actually looks like when you go about and tailor the hydrogel towards different cell types and different tissue types to accommodate what each of those cell types would expect to find in their in vivo setting. And that can be beating cardiomyocyte, that can be stem cells that stay pluripotent, there can be fibroblasts forming a network. So the effort of our team here in Sydney is to tailor the hydrogels to all these different cell types, so that at the customer side, you will receive this matrix that is suited for your experiment and for your cell types. So in today's 2 examples, I will take some common breast cancer cells through a Rastrum, as well as some fibroblasts, and show some compatibility with their downstream usage. So firstly, as Jeremy already outlined, the quick workflow is loading the cells and the tailored hydrogel into the printer, and within less than 20 minutes later, you have a 96 well plate full of your, in this case, breast cancer cell models or fibroblast cell models. And then after an appropriate incubation time, in this example, we treated the cancer cells with doxorubicin, commonly used anti-cancer drug, and the fibroblasts with an immune stimulant, LPS, bacteria wall segments, to show how you can incorporate it into downstream analysis, whether it's on a plate reader like an ELISA or a cytokine readout or viability, or whether it's on a microscope, high throughput, low throughput, whether you're looking for morphology changes, drug penetration, antibody staining, and so forth. So starting with the breast cancer cells, in this case MCA7 steroids, we wanted to confirm first the penetration of the drug, and doxorubicin shows up very nicely at high concentrations inside the steroid within a very short treatment window. So there's no issue of substance penetrating and diffusing into the hydrogel, and then of course working with the cell types. Likewise, confirming that the drug is doing what it's supposed to do and affecting the cancer cells at high concentration. We stained for actin, a process very similar to any other organoid staining protocol, where antibodies are able to penetrate the hydrogel readily, can stain, and you can wash them out with zero background noise in any particular challenge. And here you can clearly see how the drug impacted the cytoskeleton of the cells and interrupted those cells. Now, of course, we all want quantifiable data out of our models too. So on the left-hand side, you see bright field examples of what those cancer cells might look like after the anti-cancer treatment. You can clearly see that at different concentrations, those cells are severely impacted. And on the right-hand side, we have the plate readout confirming the viability decrease with the drug concentration, comparing the 2D cell type with the 3D cell type to show you that just because you're working in 3D now doesn't mean you have to sacrifice your reliability and robustness of your cultures or your assay. So the cell type flow, for instance, works just as readily with a 3D encapsulated cell type as a 2D adherent cell type. And in the lower panel, you see an ELISA readout of a phosphorylated enzyme called ERK, commonly affected by anti-cancer drugs to show elements of apoptosis and necrosis in those cell types. And again, we compare the 2D and 3D data, and you can see that the similarity between each repeat and each sample, whether it's 2D or 3D, is very, very high. Now, on the second cell type, I was talking about using fibroblasts and stimulating them with...
Sorry, Martin, to interrupt you. Could you please wrap up, please? We're running a little
last slide.
Sorry, thank you.
So here we just want to show that elements are readily released into the media through the hydrogel. We can quantify cytokines being in the media, even though the cells are fully encapsulated. So this is where we are today. We're moving towards personalized medicine with collaborators around town and around the country, towards the future of building in-human 3D applications for our platform, including currently a robot that prints skin onto people's wounds. So if you've got any questions, send them to us or visit our little booth throughout the day, where Jeremy and one of our other colleagues will be present throughout. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much, guys. Sorry, I had to stop you.
Okay, no trouble at all.
Running behind. All right. Thank you again to Inventia Life Science and the presentation.